Yo, what's happening? It's Randall, here for No Age Breakdowns. I thought today we'd talk guitars a little bit. Had a question from someone come in about guitars. Oh yeah, this is how I'm living most of these days outside of the house. Got the No Age bandana. We have these on Bandcamp if anybody wants to buy one. This is an old one from our first tours. I've just gotten used to wearing this around. Go to the post office, go to the grocery store. We just have a bandana around there. My friend Dorian from Japan asked me to talk about guitars. He was curious what kind of guitars I play on the record, what the story with this one, this Epiphone Sheridan II that I take on tour all the time. And so I thought I would do some rundown on guitars. And then also do a breakdown real quick for rip knees at the end. Show you how to play rip knees. But I'll kind of nerd out on the actual guitars that I play for a little bit. So this one right here is it's an Epiphone Sheridan II. Has a little Gibson truss rod cover there. Virginia Reed saying, please pull out the Casino. Yes, I have the Casino. Oh, lost my leg. Hold on, studio problems. All right. I'm going to break out a few guitars. You can kind of see here, I'll give you a quick preview of what we're looking at. Here's the wall of guitar cases that I have. Some people are asking how many guitars I have. This is sort of the main loot in the studio. I'm going to talk about SGs, Casinos, kind of go through a quick history of guitars. But anyway, I'll do this one real quick. Epiphone Sheridan II, made in Korea sometime in the 90s. It's got this really cool kind of red brownish burst. I got this on Craigslist about probably 2009 era ish. I'd been searching for something that could be low and kind of rumbly but still high and chimey, trying to get two sounds out of the same guitar. That's what I was doing a lot in the studio, was mixing SGs and then acoustics over it. So I was trying to find a way to get this kind of low, mid growl, and then also a clean, chimier high, like, trebly vibe over it. So I did a few walk-arounds on a few different kind of hollow bodies and determined that this one was what I was looking for. The story on it was that I drove down to Orange County and met a guy at the parking lot of a church, and he said that he had got this from somebody who was the guitar player in Black Crowes. I don't think it was the main guitar player, wasn't the brother, but one of the guys, I guess, was playing with him, and he had supposedly this Black Crowes guitar player had this guitar custom ordered from Epiphone to all the specs. He has these Clausen tuners in the back, not gold hardware, but all nickel hardware. I don't know. I think the pickups are a little hotter than most standard pickups that come on these, and it just sounded great and played great. So I've been using this as my main tour guitar for now, going on 11 years. So it was really fun. This is the main guitar I write on this one a lot, but it all started, I can walk you back. For those of you just joined us, I'm going to talk guitars for a little bit, and then I'm going to do a breakdown of rip knees. But this guitar behind me is where the guitar I first learned on. It was my older brother's Orlando. I don't even know if it has anything on there. I inherited this guitar from my brother. It's been through a lot. I stupidly modded out the pickups and put humbucker pickups. I thought that would be better. Put this big knob on there because the other knob was always breaking. Over the years, stuff would break on these things because they're cheap. I didn't really know what I was doing, but this is the first guitar that I learned to play guitar on, and I still have it. And so this is kind of always my number one first guitar that I don't really even play much anymore. I mean, I was such a huge fan of Sonic Youth, I was writing alternative tunings down there. So this is probably 93, 94 when I first got the guitar. I saw that's what they were doing, so I kind of figured this looked a little bit like a Sonic Youth style guitar, so I thought I would do that too and try different tunings. It's still in not terrible shape. Still can play it, but I don't often play it. Just kind of keep it to remind me. So that was guitar number one. And then after I played guitar for a few years, and my parents realized I was taking it seriously and wasn't just a fad. I wasn't just, putting it down and going to video games or just anything else. They asked if I wanted to get a nicer guitar. So I got this white SG. And I had this, it was kind of my main guitar. It's my second guitar I had. I got it in high school. I played this thing all the time, played it in talent shows in high school. And when we first started the band before No Age, this is the guitar I played all the time, to the point that it's got some love on it. the first couple shows that band played, someone stepped on the cord and the jack came out and this whole thing kind of came apart. The jack used to be back there. At some of the point, I think the neck cracked and kind of got it repaired. It's been bled on, banged around. I think that everything's dented. I think the frets are all kind of grooved in. The neck's kind of bowed. We've got this sweet sticker on there from George Chen from one of the tours we were playing up in San Francisco. George was handing out stickers, and I thought this one looked good. So, it's been through a lot, this guitar, but again, it kind of goes that other area where I love this guitar, but I don't play it all the time, but I always keep it around. This is my second guitar. And it sort of started my love with SGs. I just fell in love playing this and playing SGs. But the SG that I always wanted was a Firebrand SG. And at some point when I was getting that white SG repaired, I found this thing at Black Market Music on La Cienega here in LA. And this was my first real guitar I fell in love with. Those ones were kind of the starter guitars. I knew I wanted SGs, but this was the SG. This neck is super tiny. I played this thing all the time. I wrote so many songs on this. This was the guitar I first played when we started No Age. I played this guitar all the time. This was on all of our Weirdo Rippers and even into Nouns. This is what I was saying when I was the year on this. What do we got? I think it's this is covered up with something. I think these Firebrands are kind of later 70s. I'm going to put it somewhere like 77, 79. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 79. I think is how you count the serial number on it. But yeah, these are great. I love it. This was like super growly, like T-tops. I've had these replaced over the years, but like zebra T-tops, super high output, and playing this through a Model T was just everything I loved about guitar. So played this a lot, but then when I realized for the No Age stuff, I was trying to layer this and then like an acoustic guitar, kind of a cleaner guitar, chimier guitar over it, because now without a bass player or any other instruments, I had to try to fill up as much of that sonic spectrum as I could. So I was realizing I could kind of get low and muddy and growly, or I could get high and chimey, but to get both at the same time was my next challenge, to sort of be the only guitar in the band. So this did a really great low, mid growl, but it couldn't get that chimey top end on it at the same time. So I was thinking, like, well, maybe there's some kind of hollow body. Maybe that kind of works best. It's electric and it's acoustic at the same time. So I got this Epiphone Casino and played this for the first tours with No Age, where I'd switch between things for different songs. I'd do like Eraser on this, because Eraser had kind of more of a kind of had an acoustic vibe on it. You track the acoustic really hot, and then it could turn it in louder. So this was the Epiphone Sheridan that I had. But what I realized was in the construction of hollow bodies, it's about the pickups and it's about whatever's in the middle. Like, this thing's fully hollow. There's nothing inside of this. It's just floating. So it's just the top and the back. As opposed to the Sheridan, which is based more on the 335, where there's a block of wood that kind of runs along underneath where the neck is, all the way down to the tailpiece. So it's for those Sheridan 2s and 335s are in essence a solid body guitar all the way through from the neck to the bridge, but with just hollow wings on the outside that resonate. This thing was just fully resonant. And these P90s are really hot and really feedback loud. So I'd turn it on. Yeah, how did I control the feedback? I didn't control the feedback. It just fed back all the time, which was fun for a while. And I thought, wow, this is great. But I would just have to, hit the tuner between every song, just to turn off the howl. But this thing, it just screams. And it was really fun, but I realized, like, okay, this isn't getting what I want exactly. So I kept looking around, and then that's when I landed on. Okay, that's when I landed on this thing. That's when I got this Sheridan II, and I was like, this is it. It's got the block of wood down the center. It's got the humbuckers that aren't as feedback crazy. And I just like the style. It just seemed different than other Sheridans. It was kind of a nicer version of a rather cheap guitar. I think I got it for $300. And I realized you could find them everywhere. Sheridan IIs were kind of easy to come across. So it was super fun and easy to get other backups. I'd get different ones, different Sheridan IIs, and just take them on tour and not be too worried about it if it got broken or stolen or stepped on or cracked out. But I fell in love with this one. This one I don't want to get stolen or cracked or, but other things I'd throw them around and they'd bust open, and it's okay. Well, I mean, for what we were playing at the time, it wasn't that bad. But this was the kind of the one I settled on. But then I still loved SGs, and I would continue when we were tracking in the studio. I'd want different flavors. So I had the other SGs, but then I found this 74 SG, again through Craigslist. This was probably 2010, and yeah, fell in love with this thing. This was the guitar player from Mazzy Star. He said, again, I mean, these stories of whose guitar it was or where it came from. You never know. There's no way to look these things up. Really, the guy said he played with Mazzy Star. I was like, okay, that's cool, but he was selling off his guitars. So this is a 74 SG. So I played this a lot on records. So I would layer this and acoustics to kind of mimic the sound that I'd be getting live with the Sheridan II. This thing still sounds great. Like this through a small super ramp just sounds killer. It's really good, really punchy, really mid-range. But again, for live, it doesn't cover the whole sonic spectrum. It's kind of just a short throw of mid-lows, but still sounds great. And it's a really thin neck, which is really fun to kind of just jump all over. I mean, I don't have the biggest fingers, so a thinner neck like this is really fun. Makes me feel like a bit more of a giant. I like kind of thinner necks. And then I also got this Casino that had been modded out with these P90s and a humbucker in the middle, and I thought, that's kind of more fun for in the studio. And then also the Bigsby whammy bar. So a lot of times I would plug this in when we were recording. After I recorded the rhythm guitar, I would plug this in with the volume pedal into a Zvex Fuzz Factory, and then you could get these really nice kind of bending notes. So a lot of the bends and things you hear on the record are played with this Casino. And it's really fun and really hot. And I've tuned this thing. This is regular. Sometimes I'll tune this one into Nashville tuning, where the lower half is all up an octave. But it's all up an octave, like a 12 string without the regular strings on there. I've done that to this one, and I have another dot that I messed with. I think it's in Nashville tuning right now. Let's see. This is my contact paper guitar. I think this is in Nashville now. This is just a regular Epiphone dot that I used, contact paper that you use to refinish your inside of your drawers in your kitchen. Use that, kind of covered it, but this thing's not really in tune. This is in higher octave tuning. I just thought it looked pretty and it's fun. I'll use this sometimes in the studio, or when out playing with friends or doing something different. If there's going to be, if there's other guitar players, and I can kind of get, or a bass player or something, if I'm jamming with friends, I can bring this and kind of takes on a whole different sonic era, or part of the spectrum. So comes back to this. The Sheridan II. I haven't really done anything to it. This is exactly how I got it. I think it was custom modded by this mysterious Black Crowes guitar player. But I think they put some hotter like 490 R and 490 T pickups in there. I think they're just Gibson pickups. So it's a little bit hotter. And again, these Clausen tuners on the back. This little, Gibson truss rod. I think he was trying to cheat a little bit and have a cheap 335, and that's kind of how I treated it as well. But it's a 90s Epiphone made in Korea, Sheridan II. So that's what I play. And I'm gonna turn these on here. And let's do, what did I say? Rip Knees. Some people had asked about this. So this is a fun one from Nouns. I'll play it and then I'll kind of walk you guys through it. I'll show you real quick here. Try to get up close. So we're going to go to A. We're going to go to A to E in the beginning. It's kind of a rhythmic thing I'm playing off of Dean's drums, but it's 2, 3, 4. There are there. It is, like I said, the intro is an A to E. So just go on the, kind of waiting on the drums there. And then when it comes in, you're playing, quick note about that. I mean, to me, doing it just like that, it always sounds like the beginning of the King of the Hill theme. I don't know if anybody else remembers that one. Came up in my mind when we were playing it. So A to E intro, and then we're just gonna go D minor, A minor, C to G. Again, this is all kind of in that cowboy chord area. So we're just doing your A minor, or I'm sorry, starting with D minor, A minor. So if I can show you, how does it work here? There goes D minor, kind of. A minor, and up to C. So we're just doing that over and over again. So D minor, A minor, C major, G major. And then you can walk it up here to A without playing the whole bar chord. We're just gonna go B string number 5, 5th fret, G string 6th fret, D string 7th fret. I'm gonna move that whole shape down. Move that down to the G position. So you're on B string 3, G string 4, D string 5, and then go. So, and then moving it up like you're going from an F to a C. In that position there, like so you're on G, and then you're gonna, that's really like a weird D. So again, your the last note on that breakdown is your ring finger is on A, 5th fret, your middle finger is on D, 4th fret, and you're skipping the G, leaving that ring open, and then your pointer finger is on 3rd fret on B. So you're going to do A, G to this like D suspended, it sounds like. And then is D minor, A minor, C, G. So that's how the song's really played. I saw Dorian just jumped on. Dorian, I ran through all the guitars. You might have missed it at the beginning. I'm going to put this up on YouTube. I'll put it on the Instagram stories right now when I finished it. But yeah, send me more questions. Now, this was something I jumped into because Dorian sent me a question about it. So if you guys have any questions, please, yeah, you can DM No Age, you can DM me. And yeah, let me know what you guys want me to go over. We can get into more gear. We can get into, yeah, more songs, more pedals. This is kind of something I just started to pass the time while we're all stuck inside. Thought it'd be kind of fun to break some of these things down. If there was, you know, any mysteries out there, there's no reason for them to be mysteries. That's all just stuff, just messing around. Yeah, this today, right now, what I'm playing through is this this Hilbish head, which is awesome. They're kind of like beta leads. This is the preamp, and then this Roland preamp into these two Mooer power amp pedals. So each thing gets 30 watt power amp pedals through that. This is going through one channel. This is kind of the mid fuzz. This is the high chime. I can show you how I sort of stack it, but it's so we turn that one off. That's just the Roland going. Turn that one off. And turn just the Hilbish on there and using it as a clean channel. That's the clean. And then bring in the fuzz or the growl, low mid growl there. Sounds kind of good. And these power amps are really funny and tiny, but they're fun to mess around with. So, all right, hope you guys dug it. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Send questions, send notes, send ideas, what songs you want to hear, what gear you want to know about, and if you have any questions about this stuff, let me know too. Awesome. All right, thanks guys. See you later. Bye.